That leads to another very common theme throughout the Bible, that God has a tendency to choose and value and prioritize what human beings do not choose and value and prioritize. So one of the ways that that shows up over and over and over again throughout the Bible is that where human beings prize their firstborn son, God routinely chooses not the firstborn son. So if you're familiar with the stories of the Old Testament at all, you can quickly think about this. God, here in this story, is the first one. Cain is the firstborn son. Abel is the secondborn son. God has regard for Abel in a way he doesn't have regard for Cain. And you think, well, that doesn't seem fair. We'll get into it. But then later, Ishmael is the firstborn son of Abraham, but God chooses Isaac. Esau is the firstborn son. God chooses Jacob. David is the seventh. He's the runt. He is the youngest, and God chooses David. So God routinely chooses the people that human beings don't choose, yes? And not surprisingly, that ordinarily causes quite a bit of resentment. So throughout the Bible, you see this family conflict emerge where God chooses someone, and then the person who accuses God of being unfair or resents God has feelers about that, and it creates all kinds of problems. And all of this is simply illustrative of the human tendency to jostle for position, status, and honor. This is what humans do. We want to be the successful, the important, the favored, the highly regarded person. And we might play that out different ways in our mind. So some of us have an idea of what it means to be the favored person, and that idea is more socially acceptable than other people's idea. So it might be that we just know, like instinctively, this is where you can get in the church, for example, false humility. What's false humility? It's the idea that I know that humility is a characteristic that is prized in this community, yes? And so I want to be the favored person in this community. I want to be the one that everybody looks at and says, wow, look at him. And I know that in this community, what's going to get me to that position is not boastful arrogance, it's humility. And so I will put on humility to become the favored person. But you see how that humility that I put on is really just a symbol, or it's just an outworking of my arrogance. Do you see how twisted that can be? This is the human heart. So some of our desires to be the favored person are just more socially acceptable. But make no mistake, every human being wants to be regarded a certain way. They want to be the favored person. They want to be the important person. You want this. And by the grace of God, by the Spirit indwelling within you, perhaps you resist this urge better than you have before in your life, or maybe better than the person sitting next to you. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I know this, that lurking within every single person is this desire to be on the in crowd, to be the person everybody looks to, the person everybody looks up to, the person that everybody respects, the person that is favored, the person that is successful, the person with the position. And this can cause a ton of problems.